Cheers, everybody. How is everybody doing? That's right. I'm on fire tonight. How is everybody? Just me so far. Bruce is probably sitting with the grandbaby. Last picture I saw. Greg is... Don't know where Greg is. But I put the link up there if anybody wants to jump in. I just figured, jump in, chat. We got Santa on the beach down there. So, but Keith, hello. Dennis, hello. Everybody, hello. I just figured I would jump in tonight, chat for an hour or so. Hopefully somebody is going to join in because I don't want to sit here and talk to myself. So somebody jump in. But how is everybody's Christmas Eve going today so far? Well, we've got the one and the only, the legend himself.
Yeah, right.
Look at that. We even got snowmen behind us on beaches. Look at that.
Yeah.
See how that is? What's
I
up,
don't know
Charlie?
Not much. I was wondering where you get all these good graphics from.
I logged into StreamYard and it said something about like a Christmas package. It said apply Christmas package. I'm like, I don't know. I clicked the button and like when I go over to media assets, like I've got, look at this. We got a festive border.
I'll have to look at that. I see that screen popping up and I just kind of get rid of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is.
Candy canes. Look at this. Charlie and I are in candy canes.
Hey, Sandy.
Gingerbread. Yeah, there's all kind of.
Michael.
Look at that right there. I like
Michael,
that.
did you get your trailer all washed up? It was pretty bad, nasty looking. Michael, my 21st bees. Getting ready for Nobby, washing the trailer to haul all the frames to Nobby.
I saw, I think, let me see here. I was actually taking a nap a little bit ago. I woke up like half hour ago, so I'm still like, I'm all fogged up in the head. Let me see here. Our pup woke me up last night. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. He's looking at me going, rah, rah. And I look at him and I look at the clock and I'm like, what do you want?
I want to go outside and freeze.
No, he jumped up and then laid down. So no idea. He just wanted to wake me up. But
hey, Keith.
Look at this right here. Here you go. Let me share it. Look at that.
There he is. Got it all washed up.
Well done. Yeah. Yep. All he's got to do is fix the writing on the side there to John Mayer Audio Club or something like that. So, no, that trailer is going to be hauling up some boxes for me. So, I cannot say anything because I'm going to enjoy that stuff.
Yeah, some good frames. I got a hive of his frame, or one of mine. Boxes for his frames. They did good. I had some issues with queens at the time where they weren't pulling the wax out. Once I got that taken care of, then the wax came.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't.
Was it been cold up there?
It's 31 right now.
Yeah, it's 36 here. The bees were flying a little bit today.
Yeah.
And I had some empty honey buckets I wanted them to clean out, but they didn't seem like they found them quick enough. I think it was getting colder and they went back in. So maybe tomorrow.
I went over yesterday just because it was like 47 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit them with the OAV and cracked the top just to check because I had a couple where the fondant was probably 95% gone. So it was a good day to hit them with the OAV though, because like when I cracked the lid, they were loose. They were all over. So
yeah, I mean when I do OA, I like it at 45 degrees where they're not flying, but they're inside, they're loose.
Yep.
And then I used to do it at 48 degrees, but that's right on the doorsteps of where some of them are going out, and then you got to fight them. When I do I block my front entrances up and that kind of stuff. So I started doing it at 45, which then you don't have to fight no bees. You really don't have to put any gear on. And I put it, of course, in the back end of the hives with my ProVap. And stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it works good.
We had a good wind. Like if you look at my yard, the wind was blowing from the left to the right. So I would prop my instant vape on the front of a colony, and I didn't even put on any gear. It was just blowing all the smoke, off to the right of me.
Right.
Was coming back up, and it was good. I mean,
I do a respirator. I will have to, it don't matter. I'm talking about like bee suits and gloves or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I do a respirator just in, there's always that time where you're at the wrong place,
I've been caught with it. But yesterday was good. It did okay. But now I did find it chewed through my first battery a lot faster, when it's colder.
Pete says that he uses goggles, and I don't quite understand why I've never had any issues with my eyes.
Yeah, I've never used goggles. I have them. I mean, I don't know. I've never used them. So, Rodney, what is up?
What's that?
Lee. Couple people on here. I figured there'd be a couple people that would want to chat tonight.
Pastor Larry. We got to be or not to be honey. That's new to me. Huh?
Rodney.
Who's Rodney?
He is out. He used to join my chats. Oh gosh, way back. He was smaller now. Oh yeah, he's going to be at Nobby, I guess.
Yeah. No, I just haven't seen him on my chat on Friday nights.
Oh, he's here and there on the chats anymore. I think he's more busy than what he used to, but he used to have a couple colonies. Now he's got, Rodney, what do you have? I think he's got like 150 or something. I don't know. So he's growing. So and I tell you this next year, 160, he says he's got now. Yeah, that's too busy for me. I can't do that. So I'm going to be doing some of your tricks there next year, Charlie.
What's that, Demery?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like it. It's more work, but you get more honey.
Yeah.
And you also, it finally, everybody talks about, well, I'm going to do this for swarm control, and this for swarm control, and that for swarm control. And you do a Demery. Oh, this is what this is why the queen swarms. You really get the true answer to that question.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, they'll all say, well, you got to give the hive more room. And there's a specific about that. Is it physical room, another box, or is it room for the queen to lay?
Right.
And that is the key. So, we do it in a lot of different ways, and sometimes maybe we do some things and we don't really realize what we're doing other than, I'm going to pull a nuke out of that hive. I'm going to pull brood out and I'm going to make a split. Well, you're doing kind of a Demery there. And number two, when you put, let's say you got old or comb that's drawn, when you put 5 frames in there, guess what you just did? If you kept the old queen in there, you just gave that queen more room to lay.
Yeah.
And that stops the swarm impulse. And
how many supers do you put in between the boxes? Do you put 2 or 3?
I just start out with 1 in the spring. I
start
out a lot of times I watch for, is the maples a blooming? And you're the same area I am. I think your maples bloom about mid-March. I think.
Yeah. I mean, it plus or minus
somewhere is around mid-March to latter part of March. And then when you're getting closer to the end of March, that's when you're going to start seeing dandelions. As soon as I see either late March and maybe a dandelion, the honey supers go on. Now, are you going to get honey right away? No, but that's when I put the queen excluder on. I'm running all mediums, so I'm doing 2 mediums. You're going to do maybe 1 deep. Queen excluder, a medium honey super on, and if you're doing a double deep, I would be putting the other deep up on top. Now, there's 2 different ways you can do demery. You can either do it the original way where you brought all the brood out and put it up top, and you leave her and maybe 3 frames of brood, different stages with bees. And she'll continue to lay, and you might get a month out of that where you don't have to really worry about it too much. But upstairs, you better be up there within 4 to 6 days, and you better go through frame by frame, shake all the bees off, and cut the cells out, or utilize the cells, or take those frames with those nurse bees and put them in a nuke that you're going to make a split, and they can make their own queen. So you're making an increase, plus they're making their own queen, and the likelihood of that queen surviving or being mated and whatever else is going to be high for the most part. And do it that way. And then as the demery goes, for me, I found it easier for me to do it this way, where I go through the 2 medium boxes. I pull out all the cap brood with the bees on it. I find the queen, hopefully. If I don't, let's say it's hard. Let's say I got a huge hive and I can't find the queen. All right, shake all the bees off and have a box off to the right. Get set up. That's the main thing that I learned this past year is have me 2 boxes here. I've got a box to put the frames in that I'm taking out, and I have a box of frames that are empty that I'm putting in. And you could. That's what I got a Defender hive. I was
you got a deal.
I was gifted a Defender hive that I'm going to try out and use and see if that works. It's no more than a 4-way hive, or it can be a 2-way hive.
Yeah.
And what I do is I have the 2 boxes off to the right, put my empties in. All right. Let's say I shook all the bees off. All right. So I know the queen's downstairs. Put the queen excluder back on, put the honey super back on, take this medium that I pull the brood out of that, or either put that box up on top, or if there's a 3rd box up there. Most time there's not. Let's say I'll just take that box up there, put those brood frames up there, and the brood smell brings the nurse bees up to the top.
Yeah.
So now what's it also doing? It's bringing those bees through the honey super. Mm-hmm. So now you've got this enticement of wanting the bees to go upstairs to where the brood is.
Yeah.
And then what I found is used to be, they'll fill out 5 or 6 frames in the middle with the honey supers, and then you got to keep pulling the frames on the outer edges to the center to get them to fill it. Not with this. When you're bringing all that brood up there and they're tending to the brood, and the brood is hatching out, and you got that honey soup. Oh, there's all this space up here. They're filling it out all the way out to the edges with honey. Now, the other thing that, and I've been talking about this year, especially about queens. Last year, I had, not this past spring, but the year before, I had to put in brand new queens.
Charlie's
going to have rows of free frame nukes with queens for sale all over this place. Going to have to change his name to Sawmill Charlie the Nuke Queen. Well, I used to sell nukes up until a year ago, and I just got tired of the stress of that. Every time you had a person pick a nuke up, then you had to give them a 20-minute crash lesson on how to take care of this box of bees. So I'll sell queens. I sold queens last year. I like selling queens. I like raising queens and stuff and grafting. Yeah. And I'm going to have them behind my truck there. There's a couple racks over there where I can put, I got enough. I got 32 frame mating boxes. So I can hopefully fill them with brood, keep them filled, and then this year, instead of me putting, I tried putting in virgin queens in. It just didn't seem to work out well. And I remembered back 4 years ago when I was making queens, I would put cells in, and I had a much higher acceptance rate. And then you can get to thinking about it. Listen to what the pros do. Listen to what the commercial guys do. They drop cells in. They don't drop.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Occasionally they'll drop a version.
Yep.
And I said, I'm going to go back to dropping cells.
Yeah.
Let's say 80-90% take, hopefully. And then when it comes to queens, this is what I found. Last year when I put them fresh, brand new girls in there from the springtime, well, they took off. I thought for sure that I wouldn't have hardly any honey, maybe 500 pounds. Well, I got 1,000 pounds that year. And then I forget what the guy, he's a commercial guy that comes on my channel. He said, oh yeah. He says, young girls make you more honey because they lay more. And sure enough. And what I did see was I started watching my queens and evaluating and understanding what's going on pattern wise, is that a young girl goes in there and she'll lay up an egg in every hole she can find in that bottom box. So then in turn, you might have just a little bit of honey and pollen, rainbow, you might say, on the outer edges. More so on the edges, on the end, not across the top. And that forces all the worker bees to put the honey upstairs.
Yeah.
Now, this year, I had a bunch of 2-year-olds in there. The pattern, instead of being corner to corner, solid brood and multiple frames, I had less frames. The brood pattern was solid, but it was sucked in to the center of the frame. And then you had all these outer edges where they're putting in honey because she's not laying enough.
What was that percentage drop that you said? I remember
40% after the first year. That's huge.
That's a big drop. Yeah.
That's huge. And that was from a PhD professor from Texas A&U or AM, whatever it is, out there in Texas.
Yeah. What is it? Texas A&M.
And I've seen that this year.
Yeah.
And
what, like my plan, like I had said with my colonies, I'm going to maintain 15 production, and then I'm going to do my the 2 resource colonies. So I'll have like 4 nukes off to the side.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to, this is my biggest goal. It's like, how can I just maintain from 1 year to the next 18 honey production hives? And I got enough space for 8 nukes. I did have 12, And then this year was like, I don't need 12 nukes, to keep them in the box and all that stuff and do splits. So I sold some nukes this year and what I didn't need. And I added 2 more honey production hives.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've got 18. I want somewhere between 12 and 1,500 pounds of honey coming in.
That'd be nice.
I
did build, well, I printed up another one of those hex hives, but I only did one box and I kind of changed it up so that it's like a mating box. Instead of, let me grab the darn thing.
Okay. Hey, Philip.
Got the darn thing over here. But instead of, see how it's all like solid now in there? I've got each chamber where instead of being a whole entire hive body, each section is a colony.
Oh, and then you put your frames in that section. I see those.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a.
So now you got a 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you got a 3-way.
Yeah. Yep.
If you can, you got entrances on all 3 sections.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look.
Okay.
Yep. So I plan on like I can use that thing now. I'm gonna need to get. I'm gonna need to print out 15 frames and.
I'm eating McDonald's, Paul.
What? Come on. He's got popcorn somewhere.
Oh, what's in yeah, I haven't got into that yet.
I got to get my frames printed up and then I've got the foundation, so I'll put foundation on it. But once I get that thing built out, I could even steal from the other colony that I have, and I'm going to use this thing just to raise up queens.
Yeah.
And like the hex hive I have, if I get a decent queen in there, the one last year, she was good. Whatever sells, like I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, I can't do any splits or anything with that thing because those frames fit nothing. So that's why I thought I'm going to build this, because if I keep a good queen in that could be like my parent colony for my yard. And then I can just pull out the frame that has cells on it and drop them in this joker. And I plan on painting it. Like I'm going to spray it white and then I'm going to paint each entrance side with like different designs. That way, it'll increase my rates. But
well, it'll supposedly reduce the drifting.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Because I mean, if they're coming back, I don't know. You might want to, instead of that thing being orange all the way up, you might want to take that whole panel and make it, let's say, yellow, and then the next one, the next whatever appropriate color.
Yeah, I got to do something just to paint it, but like, I mean, that'll be, I don't know, whenever it's warm enough and I can get a good can of spray paint and spray the darn thing. And so.
But figure out color wise, you want, they're seeing infrared. So what is it? Red is black to them, I believe.
I forget. Just testing.
How you doing, Santa?
Let me see here. Just testing. Let's do
maybe another day.
Never done that before. Just trying it out.
Well, you've done it now.
Yeah.
So where are you located at?
I'm Iowa Lands Beekeeping, George.
Iowa.
Yeah.
I've been there once.
I've never been anywhere else.
Well, there you go.
No, I've been around, but
yeah.
I've only lived within 10 miles for all my life. So
How many hives you running, Chief?
I usually have around a dozen.
Right.
I use Russian bees and Lands insulated hives. I have pretty good luck with the bees, but I'm in corn and soybean territory, and we had the derecho in 2020. So I really don't have any resources. All the stuff I've spent on bees, my honey's worth about $100 a pound.
That's the
Well,
truth.
with corn, I mean, you don't have. Where are you getting your nectar sources from? Trees, I presume, out there. Or?
Yeah, but in 2020 with the derecho, it shredded about 75% of our trees. So I think we're starting over.
Wow.
So it's going to be.
Are you talking about a storm out there? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, straight line. It was an inland hurricane.
Okay.
So we had 120-mile-an-hour winds.
Ooh.
And I started beekeeping in 2020. And I put in a colony, put in a package, and they filled my box with honey. And then in August, the storm came at 11 a.m. and it blew all my bees away and blew all the trees away. So we're kind of starting over.
Oh.
I got a lot to learn. I'm hoping to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping to share information about Lands hives here somewhere down the line. I got to put together some presentation pictures and stuff like that. So. But thanks for.
Well, now let's see. A Lands hive. Was that a long lang, or is that the one where you open the back door up and bring it out that way?
It's like the long lang, only our frames are.
They're bigger.
14 inches deep.
Yeah. Fred Dunn has one of those Lands hives up at his place.
Yeah, he's got 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them. I understand what they are. I mean, do you take 2 normal frames and put them together so you can spin the honey out?
No, I bought a real Lands extractor.
So they they make an extractor for that. Okay.
Oh yeah. Back 5 years ago they were hard to find, but now almost everybody's got one. John Hill's got one. Everybody's got one.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I didn't know that.
But I can extract frames from Langstroth and Lands and Langstroth jumbos. I can go that big. So it's pretty neat.
I wouldn't want to lift those frames all the time.
Well, I don't lift any. I never lift any boxes.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
All I lift is frames.
Yeah.
And I don't get around all that well. So that's the last thing I wanted to do was throw boxes around. So all I've got is a warehouse with a couple hundred frames sitting around. Well, I think I got about 300 or 400 frames now, but.
Well, now, I mean, I've been around top bar hives, and how is it with getting the bees to move horizontally instead of vertically?
They don't argue. It just happens.
Huh.
I mean, my winter success rate is decent. I buy usually about 4 queens a year. It's not a heavy bee population around here, so I'm not counting on any real queen production. But I know I've had successful requeenings. But
I had problems with my horizontal where they wouldn't move. They died. Like, I mean, the cluster was a decent size.
That's what I'm talking about, Brian.
They were at the very top in the front of my horizontal, and literally one frame over, and then there were multiple. It was just solid honey, and they starved out. And it was too cold for them to move horizontally.
Yeah, if they don't have a warm spell to make that
Yep.
transition, that's right.
And
But
when I opened it up and I looked and I'm like, what the, and I thought they're dead. And I'm pulling frames and I'm like, where they were. And I'm like, well, darn it, they starved out. And then I'm pulling frames next to them and I'm like, well, these things are completely filled. And it was too cold for them to move.
Was your hive insulated?
It was a horizontal that I built out, and I forget the thickness on the wood. It was pretty darn thick. And then
I got a gal in my club, and she had lower back problems, blew her back out helping on a mission. And she had her husband did a long lang, but I'll say there's at least 2 inches or more of insulation all the sides.
Oh, okay.
And roof insulation too.
yeah, I have my primary boxes have 1.5 inches on the sides and the bottom, and 3 inches on top. The first 2 boxes I built with 2 inches in the sides and three on top, I think. But no, I can get quite a few bees through the winter. I've had very few starve outs. Only a couple of them I can think of. But you just never know.
Yeah. That's beekeeping.
Yep, and from one box to another, it's amazing how different they are.
Oh, yeah.
One of them will be sopping wet when you open it up, and the next one will be dry as a bone.
Yep. Yeah.
And I don't have any ventilation. It's strictly single entrance only.
Yeah.
And it works really well.
I stopped all that also. I through my years, I mean, I used to wrap my hives. I used to do all that stuff. And, I used to have the upper entrances, and I had Vino Farm, if you know him, he had those Vivaldi boards that he used, to put, he'd put burlap up there to collect the moisture. And I had those with the upper entrances. I did all this stuff. And now I do nothing.
Yeah.
I throw a shim on there. That way I can just throw fondant in, and I set it on top of the frames, and that's all I do. And I mean, they're fine. I've checked them so far, and
the biggest thing is just put like on my hives there. I have the inner cover on there, and I was like, figuring out how I'm going to do this insulated top. I just put 1.5 inches insulation on top, styrofoam insulation, and the tele cover covers everything up, and it keeps that inner cover warm, and there's no condensation that forms. I never really did upper entrance to begin with, and then some of my tele or inner covers had that notch in there. I wouldn't put a piece of wood in there and put a screw in there. And a lot of times when I'm trying to feed, I don't want that hole to be there because I'm putting the box up on top. So I closed all them things up.
Yeah. I got a couple shims that I forget where I got them at, but they had a hole in them for an upper entrance, but they came with a plug. And
I think Melee had them, I think.
I glued the darn plug in them. That way, the plug would just be solid, because I'm like, I don't want an opening up there.
Hey, Brian. I watched your video. Man, that's some nice looking brood frames you got there for December.
Oh, mine?
No, Brian at Cajun Homestead.
Brad.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yes, Brad. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had pattern that big.
Brad, do you know about that? Who's doing that study? Is it Auburn? They're doing that brood study. I think Keeman posted something about it.
I've seen it on the internet.
Yeah. If you don't know about it, Brad, check out Keeman posted something they're doing some type of like December.
They got a map out where they showed there's brood, of course, more farther up,
Yeah.
you're not going to have it. But for me, it's too cold to get it in the hive. I'm not going to dig into my hive.
Yep. That's what I told Cayman. I put a comment. I said, I'd love to contribute, but I'm not, when it's in the 40s, I'm not going to crack frames open just so that I can.
Once I get done top hive feeding and my top hive feeders come off, I never go back down in there.
Yeah.
I let them seal all that up. And well, there's a kitten cat.
There we
nice
go.
Orange is a bobcat too.
Yeah,
tail.
I think he got his tail caught under the automatic garage door. And it ripped his nerves, and we had to have his tail cut off so he could heal.
That's tough.
Must have not had a safety on that automatic.
Well, if the door is down in the last few inches down where the thing is, the sensors are.
Yeah, but I mean, if a door comes down and hits a car, it'll automatically go back up today.
I'm sure he was flying through that door, and nothing had a chance to stop. Be my guess. Anyway.
Well, that's a life lesson for that cat, is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 frames and most of them, and a couple of them with 4 frames of brood. That's them young. There he is. These young queens go crazy in the warm weather. Yeah. But see, that's the thing about queens, and that's what I've been studying on this year. When you're down there in Louisiana, and Brad will tell you, he requeens every year because those bees are laying 12 months out of the year. And that queen, he said by, let's say, the middle of honey season of the next year, that queen will be dead or be no good.
Yeah.
So he's got to, in his environment, he's going to requeen, I think he said around October or something like that in the year. So they're up and ready to go for the next honey season.
Yeah. When you demoray your colonies, when do you requeen them?
Well, that's another thing that I've been studying on. And a lot of people say Mid-Atlantic area where we're at, your queen is good for 2 years. And I'm going to say, yeah, I would say so if you're doing normal beekeeping. But when you demoray, you're pushing that queen to pump out,
manipulating them.
You're pushing her to produce more eggs than what she, you're constantly, it's like, go, keep laying eggs, because I'm going to pull the frames out when you get that done. And here's another 3 or 4 more frames for you to keep on going. And you're going to wear her out. So instead of being 40% the next year, I'm thinking more like 50 to 60%. She's wearing out. I've pushed her and burned her out. So now it's I'm going to replace them every year.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, so that's why the commercial guys do all that, because they're looking for the most productive hive to get the most honey or whatever they're trying to produce. And then I was down there when I guess we went down this year, but last year we went down to Hardeman's, where we picked up truckloads of bees. I helped the guy out. And we were out in the queen yard and stuff. And Mr. Hardeman was there. And he says, yeah, you see that queen right there? I says, yeah. And it is beautiful looking queen. He said, come this fall, all them queens, we're going to replace them all. Because they're making them queens produce bees in order to make packages. And they're down there in the deep south where 10 12 months out of the year that queen's laying, and it looks good, but they need that queen to be up and running for the next year, so they need to replace those queens in them out yards all the time.
I wonder if, because I was thinking about that today, I'm like, when I do this next year, I am going to push them. And I got thinking, I'm like, man, I'm going to have to replace them probably sooner than later. So I was trying to figure out like a month when I do it. It'll probably be after my harvest.
So you're in July.
Yeah, I typically harvest first week of July.
Yep, same here. Now,
And
I was doing that too this year. I started making my own queens, putting a lot of virgins in all them hives. I got most of them replaced. Some of them I couldn't find some of my queens because they're dark, they're carniolan, they're dark, they're hard to find. So I got to think, and I'm the same way with you. I'm sitting there thinking, when's the best time? And I was at a club meeting. We had somebody from the Be Informed partnership and stuff, and he manages hives and talking about he just just said you're gonna requeen in the spring, and I'm like, yeah, that's it, because number one, if you need to buy queens, you can buy queens. Number two, it's in the spring when the acceptance rate is higher because everybody's gearing up.
Everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy because spring has come.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna do it in the spring. I want those Queen's Hope by April, because 2 years ago when I was getting queens, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna have anything. I was very surprised that those queens were up and running and did me a great job. And they built the hives really up. I mean, the hives were weak, and I wanted something booming. And Merry Christmas, Scott. And so it's better to do it in the spring, I think. At least that's what I'm going to try to. And right now I'm running a lot of carniolan. And I was talking to a commercial beekeeper friend of mine tonight, and of course he's sending bees to almonds. So they want lots of bees when he goes to almonds for pollination. So he's doing Italians. And I'm thinking to myself, the Italians get a bad rap. Number one, they brood up heavy all the time. And even though there's no food coming in, they're still brooding up heavy for the most, if it's only a small amount. And a lot of beekeepers complain about them eating a lot of food and stuff of that nature. But I'm like, maybe it's time to go back to the Italians, where you have you got a huge, nice population in the springtime. You're built up. If you do a demery, I'm not going to have swarming problems because I know what to do when it comes. Pull the brood out, put the empties in, no swarming. That's it's just that's the way it is. And then I've also found that come June 21st or 22nd after the solstice, I've seen it. She starts. You keep going in them hives, and you'll see. Oh. I used to get 7-8 frames of brood, and now she's only laying 6, and now she's only laying 4, and she's slowing down. You don't have to be as vigilant about managing that hive after June, 1st of July.
Yeah.
It's going the opposite direction.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
So I've been thinking about maybe putting back some Italians. And then when I'm installing, that was one thing I did this past, the first time I put them new virgins or new mated queens in, is that it timed it out to where I had pulled the queens out of that hive. And by the time I got the new queens in, it was 7 days. So they are hopelessly queenless. You go frame, it's a lot of work. Frame by frame, shaking bees off and cutting cells out in them hives. And once you completely get rid of all the, as I call them, volunteer queen cells, and then you can put your mated queen in there, your acceptance rates goes skyrocketing high. And then something I was talking to my friend tonight about. I have a hive out there. You can see it on the end of the line. It's taller than the rest of them. That's because it's got an extra food box on there, because I was finding hives that did not have queens this fall. And I combined 2 different hives into that one hive. And that was a queen that I was a hive that was queenless, and they made a queen cell. I said, all right, let's see what happens. And it's late in the year. She hatches, and 2 weeks later she mates. And, you know, you got about that much brood in there. I'm like, hey, that's great. But she needed bee power, as I call it, population. So I took one hive, and I'm like, okay, I've heard this, talked about this, and I'm going to do it. I made up some 1-to-1 sugar water, took some Pro Sweet, watered it down to 1-to-1 consistency, took an eyedropper of peppermint oil, put it in there, shook it, you know, and blended it up in a blender, my little bee blender, and put it in a squirt bottle. I squirted everybody down where she was at, and then I took that second medium and I squirted them all with that peppermint spray. I did put a piece of newspaper in and let them do it that way, and they combined. And then the next week went by. I had another hive that was, I had pushed them down into one medium, and those worker bees, they were 10 seams of bees. They were solid bees. And I took that medium down there and I sprayed that bottom box where she was at and them other bees were at, piece of newspaper, sprayed under, you know, I tipped that medium that had the bees in there that was adding. I sprayed them on the bottom side and on the top side with that peppermint spray, real good, and put that hive on there, and they all combined. And they all smell the same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they also have sugar water to kind of keep their minds busy, I guess you would say.
Right. Right.
Hey, Jason.
If you want to see some Land's hives, I can try to present.
What's that, George?
If you want to see some Land's hives, I can try to present my.
Okay.
Sure.
So, you know, that's some of the things that's worked for me here, and so I'm figuring on getting in a habit of putting new queens in every spring.
Yeah, it's going to be a process I'm going to have to learn, but it'll be fine.
Well, that's what I say. That's with me and all these different things, is that learning the process, and once you learn it with experience, then it just seems to work. You know, like setting up for a cell builder. You know, some of the things they all talk about grafting. I says, that's secondary. Setting up that cell builder is the first thing you got to figure out. And that's the one nice thing about Demery. You've got all these hives, and the top boxes are full of bees and brood, and you can go down the line with your Pro Nuke, take a frame out of this one and a frame out of that one, and a frame, and you can get 5 frames of brood with bees covering that brood, and you can drop that into a cell builder hive, which for me would be medium. So I'm doing 10 frames of brood. Give it 7 to 10 days to hatch out, and then add some brood frames, you know, to keep it going with no queen in there. And it works wonderful. I grafted 30 cells. I had 20 out of 30 I'm accepted.
Wow. That's not bad.
But you got to get the numbers right. You got to get those numbers.
Yeah.
And then put a frame of pollen here, maybe a frame of nectar, or definitely put some either I usually take pollen powder, mix up a little slurry, and drizzle that on top of the frames, and then put a quart jar of 1-to-1 on there. I took an inner cover and I bored a hole in the corner, not in the center, and I made it for a quart jar, and I bored like a 50-cent piece hole in there. So those holes that are in a little ring, they can go right up there and grab feed. You want that cell builder to have more feed they'll ever use and more pollen they'll ever use. And then those cells are fed properly.
There might be a day that I'll mess with that. I don't know.
I don't know. Queen rearing to me is fun. It's just it's a challenge. It's
Yeah.
between you and the bees.
Right. Yeah.
And
We got something here. Look at that. Those are bigger. There's a good number of bees on the right side of that thing.
Well, that's the only entrance I ever open.
That's nice. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How many frames fit in one of those things?
What I ended up with was a plan that optimized a sheet of plywood because I have 3/8 inside, 3/8 outside. And so they're about the number 3 here is 18 frame. Number 2 is that was my early box, and I wasn't worried about managing my plywood. And
Yeah.
these are like 22. 1 and 2 are like 22.
Oh, wow.
But my standard configuration is at 18.
Wow. Those are big.
This one here, I tried to do some kind of a lid without a hinge, but I could open it easy. That was
okay.
Most of them have a stainless steel hinge on them.
Yeah. That's nice. You got copper on the one there I saw.
It's a copper. It's a roll from Menards. It's just a roll of copper coated aluminum.
Nice.
This one was a Lazutin format, which was it's basically a double deep Langstroth, but I've got it converted back to Lands. Everything's Lands. I bought a nuke for this box. My first nuke. I'll never buy another nuke. It came with hive beetles, and I ended up with a mess there.
Oh, geez.
You said the nuke came with hive beetles?
Yeah.
That sucks.
This was one of those bulb brood things or virus things. I've only seen it once, but it killed all the bees.
Wow. Holy Moses.
This one here is the same format as a 10 frame Langstroth box. And so you can put sideways, you can put Lands frames in it, or you can choose to go lengthwise and put Langstroth frames in it.
Huh.
And there's my shows. I got
okay.
double deep Langstroth or Lands, or the other one is what's the other one? Oh, this is the double medium in a vertical format, and that fits on a Land frame.
That's interesting.
There's the double deep.
Yeah.
And there's the Lands frame in the same box going the other way.
Now with the Lands, are you putting real wax in there or letting them draw it themselves or what?
All of the above. Everything's an experiment. I buy wax from Dr. Leo Sharashkin. On some of them, I got plastic, and some of them. These 9 and 10 here, I took 2 7s and slapped them together in a hurry when I needed some bigger boxes. So these are 14s, but I've since taken them down. This is my latest build here, which is the extra deep, so I can put those vertical frames in it.
Yeah.
12, let's see, it's 11 and 12 are the same. There's that format again. Trying to find.
I had a guy build me an extra deep that I used this year. It turned out pretty well. They're doing all right.
Yeah, you can see the extra deep format there.
Yeah. He actually took and built kind of a hybrid top bar Langstroth
Yeah.
Layens. It's like a weird combination. He built these custom frames for it that actually has a deep foundation and medium foundation connected together, like they're seamless.
It just happens that an 8-frame queen excluder fits right in the box.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
That's my 7 frames. These are my 7-frame boxes. This box keeps catching a swarm every year, and they're not mine either. There it shows the construction. I've got 3/8 plywood on the inside, 1.5 insulation, 2x framework on top and bottom. They're very sturdy boxes when I get done.
Have you got a picture of your Lands extractor? Brian wants to know. Flower Street.
Not handy, I don't think.
How are you extracting a Lands?
It's a licensed large frame extractor.
Interesting.
It's a 4-frame tangential.
I'm going to look it up now.
Yeah, it's called the large frame licensed.
Jason, you need one.
No, I don't. I don't need any more stuff.
Yeah, you have room. I've been to your place.
Stop.
I saw this frame.
My wife is in earshot. She'll get mad at you.
There's my Joey Rolls inspired frame.
Oh, there you go.
Hive stand.
Wow.
That's what, a 1/2-inch rebarb?
Yep, just 1/2-inch rebar. It's something I can do real easy. It's sturdier than wood.
That's interesting. I'm looking at the Lands extractor. I don't know that I've ever seen one of those in person.
Yeah.
Well, Nabby is coming up. I'm sure there might be one there.
Now, I've never known to look because I've never thought to extract Lands. Like the box that the guy that built me, he built it such so that the roof is deep enough that you can actually drop a super in on top of the deep frames with a queen excluder, and you can treat it like a Langstraw super harvest. And you just pull the box out and then close the lid. It's like I'll find a picture of it, but yeah. I never thought about extracting the deep frames like you have there.
Yeah. This frame is one that the wax slid to the bottom and they had to work it back up. So up there's my frame builder.
Oh wow.
Where do you get those frames at?
Out of my back pocket.
Do you make them?
You got to build most of them.
I use all 2x6s. I cut it all out of 2x6s. That's the most efficient piece of wood that I can get those. There's a plastic frame. I bought 24 of these from Spain. I wanted to see if Dr. Leo knew what he was talking about. And yes, they're an exact match, but they're plastic.
Oh.
And I'm not extreme. I've got that 24, but I'm not extremely happy with them long term. This is what do they call that? The pre-made comb, better comb from Better Bee.
Oh, okay.
And I just get it oriented right. I cut them, and this is what I started with. I had empty boxes, and I put 2 of these in the box, and I had a queen in my package. My package queen was laying in less than a week.
Yeah.
So I was real happy. Since then,
those deep frames, George, are comparable to a deep and a medium together, correct? Is that about what they're comparable to?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw your better comb or the other comb, and I couldn't tell if that was like the size of a medium and a deep.
That's a piece of deep.
Right. And then it looks like a half a piece or a medium piece, the 6.
Well, yeah, when I cut the end off, I could throw that underneath it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you put in plastic foundation for Land's frame so that they draw it. What were you talking about, Dr. Leo? I mean, what was he saying? Do it all natural or something?
Well, yeah, he's a natural guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he is.
And I just experiment with everything my own. But I can buy the wax from him. well, it's all expensive, but
Yeah, but I hear he's got high prices on his wax.
I don't know. I see everything else. Well, I tell you, when I started studying this format, I started talking to people in Spain, and the maker of the plastic frame was able to ship me international, but the other people with lay-ins components couldn't ship. So it costs about the same if I had it sent from Spain or if I got it from him.
As far as the wax or the foundation? What are you getting shipped from Spain? The plastic foundation?
Just these plastic frames.
Yeah.
It's a one-time deal. It was only for my education. It wasn't.
Yeah.
All right, so that frame and everything is plastic?
Yes.
All right, so it's plastic foundation with a plastic frame.
Yes.
Okay.
And I pulled them out and I dipped them in wax. And I mean, they work fine, but I seem to get a lot. I think I'm getting too much warpage out of the darn things. And they buckle.
Well, that's well, dipping them like
What
that.
they're made out of.
Hot wax, that probably will make them warp. You need to brush it on.
Yeah, there's the frame feeder they offer. There's the plastic frames in Hive,
Oh wow.
but that's my stringer.
You're all set up for lands.
I am. I'm all lands. Yeah. I mean, I've built some Langstroth things for my brother-in-law just because I can do it, but I standardized.
Yeah.
This was my first colony in a small box, and then they didn't do too bad.
Well, see, there you go. So you can get your name out here on the internet, and you'll be the American contact for Layens High's equipment.
Yep.
You can make frames and all that, and come up with a sheeting for plastic sheeting, or something like that would be good.
Yeah, there's one way. Some people, they turn these Langstroth.
That ain't gonna work.
They still work, but I don't know.
Why wouldn't that work, Saul? Charlie, why wouldn't that work?
Well, isn't that thing orientated as far as?
Yes, correct. The hexagon is turned 90 degrees.
Yeah.
So they're point down instead of flat down. But the bees work it fine.
They'll draw it up.
But that's how those double, like Bearsville, they build lands and they promote those the double mediums in a vertical format, and so that's what you end up with. There's a half a sheet of the wax. That's my conservation mode.
Huh.
That's a half frame if you wanted to do half frames. The half frames are used for if you want to put a super, like those boxes that are lay-in / Langstroth. You can throw a super right on top of those. There's a double. And there's what I usually do is just a starter. The main thing is to get the bees to head the right direction, but I get cross comb, but not a lot.
Philip's got a great idea there. Michael might have to invest in something like that if there's enough.
I already talked to Michael. He said I needed to write him a check for $500,000 to do that.
Okay. You can do that.
He did come up with a number. I think it's 300 something. No, I was surprised. He was familiar with it. He did look into it.
Wow.
That's
There you go.
That's my first honey from your
Liquid gold right there.
Yeah, it sure is.
I still have my very first honey right over here. Let me grab it. There we go.
There's my first frames overwintering, waiting to feed my new packages.
Fall of 2017, my very first honey. Let me see. I can't even open this thing anymore. Oh,
this shows how they like to propolize the holes. I've never had a slot.
Man, I can't open it. My first honey is forever sealed.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's moving.
There's a guy in Nebraska. He quit beekeeping and he changed jobs and went to Texas. But before he did that, he offered these lay-ins.
Layens nukes, Jester boxes. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
And he was looking for somebody to buy him out.
Look at
So
that.
you bought him out.
It would be handy.
Yeah.
I bought a couple. I wish I had 6 of them.
Interesting.
There's my first swarm traps with bees in them. There's my water source for the bees.
There you go. Was that rocks? Yeah.
Yeah. I had a local pond guy. He helped me get a better filter system on there.
And what's the filter system for?
Well, water, it's going to get algae and stuff in it.
Well, that's what the bees love. They love it. More
I know, but you want to run the water constantly. And if you don't have, it's not a filter. It's a bucket of rocks. And you just pull the water through the bucket of rocks.
Right.
Minimizes the growth so that it can run all year instead of having to take it all apart and clean it. And the little jug there, that's my salt water. There's my bag. There's my first.
A little bit of chlorine in there. They like that too.
Yeah, I'm into low maintenance. Anyway, there's my backyard.
Looks good.
Well, that's cool.
Nice.
Seems like you have a positive outcome with your bees, and I guess what I'm getting at is your bee boxes and how it all works as good as we do with our standardized boxes.
Yeah, I can grow bees.
And there's not that many people that have really got the knowledge of what you got from what I've talked to people about how to raise bees in them style hives.
Well, they're just bees. They're just animals.
No, I'm talking about, the way the boxes are built and getting them to do what you're doing with them and understanding what kind of works with those type of boxes layout. Yeah. And like you say, you got an extractor that goes with that instead of crush and strain and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the buy once thing. Although, it's only 4 frames, but I don't expect to have 100 hives. I've heard of guys with 100 lands hives, but
Wow.
not me.
That'll be Jason. Jason, that's your next adventure.
Stop.
Come on, Jason. You need to dial it in.
Yeah, no.
Huh?
I got enough with 100 some Langstroth. I don't need to add any more complication.
You still doing some pollination services, Jason?
Yeah, where I can. I got a bunch of carts and I got too many here though. I need to get them out of here.
What do you got? You mean your trailers?
Yeah. There's 20 on trailer, and I've got way too many with bees on them here.
How many
They should
trailers
be
you
out
got?
somewhere
5 or
else.
6 trailers?
7 now, I think, the last time I counted.
7 trailers? Did you buy them all from the same guy that you bought the
Yep,
first
from the
one?
same. Well, and actually, no. What's interesting is the same guy built them, but I didn't.
You mean Oliver?
Oliver Collins built them.
Yeah.
But Jason not Jason, Eric Thompson from Delaware Bay Bees, and another gentleman who worked with Oliver Collins years ago sold me one of his, but they're all Oliver Collins carts.
Yeah.
So,
is Oliver still with us?
he is.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool. He's up in years though.
Very much so. Yeah, he's not last I talked to him was like 2 years ago, and he sounded like the same. So
He was at one of my came over here in Jarrettsville in Hartford County, and talked to us, he gave us talking about bees and how he started and doing all that stuff by himself and
He used to
working.
run 1,500 colonies. Can you believe that?
Yeah, all by himself. And he was
All by
talking
himself.
about he would go, I forget how many months or weeks he did it where he worked at nighttime.
Yeah.
Because he would take a trailer from this field, drive it 10 miles down to that field, drop it off because they needed to move the trailer over in the field or whatever was blooming.
Yep.
Take the trailer that was down there, come back to the field that he just came from, and plop that thing over in the field at a different location so they would have better coverage of all the
If
plants.
you're in an area that's condensed pollination opportunity, unfortunately, where I'm at, I'm kind of below Newcastle County, if in relation to Delaware, but west, of course, in Cecil County, southern Cecil County. I have to go southern Maryland or southern Eastern Shore to get a concentration of pollination opportunities. So anybody that I have, it's so spread out. I'm bringing, a cart of 20 hives. I don't know how many miles, and then I park it somewhere, and then if I got to get another car to do 40, then I'm having to go and get them, and it's a distance to get them there, and it's not as easy. Where he can have 10, 20 carts with 20 hives on them, and move them a mile down the road or a couple miles up here, a mile over there, in this field, whatever's blooming. Like to your point, so it was easier for him. But
that's a hard way to make a living, I think.
It is, but it is, but it isn't. I mean, if you think about all the things that you can make money at, if you want to, make any money at beekeeping, you're either going to go honey or you're going to go bees and livestock, queens, right? You're going to sell equipment or you're going to do pollination. Those are the 4 pillars of revenue that you're really going to, and you can do all 4, but you if you're good at one, then you'll do all right.
Yep.
My problem is I'm not big enough on any 4 of those. I do a little bit of each one.
I'm not good at
full time. What's that, Brian?
I'm not good at any of those 4 to make money at anything.
Yes, you are. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You got to keep the bees alive.
I do now anymore. I simplified. I do queens and honey. That's it.
Yeah. The good news was there's never a drought or a lack of need for honey in this area. There's a lot of beekeepers in the Delaware, Maryland area. At least I could speak from, Charlie's in my perspective. There's never enough. There's no lack of demand. I should say that
for honey sales. Yeah.
Honey sales. Yeah. I mean, I have no issues selling honey out every year. And
yeah,
they
want to tuck and chisel it, get you down on your price. Says, look, I can sell every drop that I can make.
Right. I can sell it all day long for the price that I sell for, that I think it's valued at, and people will buy it all day long. And what's crazy is there's a lot of good beekeepers in the area around here that preach the whole, my honey is different from their honey. I don't have the best honey. I just have a different varietal. And so there's some areas of the country or some parts where you get into like a fighting match. Maybe if there's like a larger crop of one particular type of honey that people seem to be, and people get overwhelmed. I can imagine that's like in like Georgia, down in that area, in your area. Brian, Ohio is kind of diverse. So your honey's going to taste different with all the varietals that are there.
Yeah.
But no honey's the same unless you're sitting on acres and acres of one particular crop.
Mm-hmm. I had somebody ask me the last market I did. This guy came over and he said, "Your like earlier season honey that you have that's lighter," he said, "Can you say that that's 100% clover? I'm looking for 100% clover."
Nope.
I said, "Well, sir," I said, "around here," I said, "who knows?" I said, "The bees are going to fly out miles." So I said, if you have miles of clover with no trees, no other nectar source, then I said, you could say that. But I said, I don't know a single spot in Ohio that has miles and miles of clover. I said, they hit whatever. He said, they fly out that far? I said, yep. I said, I typically say it's a specific like clover or wildflower or whatever. I just say it's according to the season.
Yeah.
You know?
You went out either. I had a big eye opener, and I probably should be careful on what I say because I don't want people to hit up this guy. I won't give his information or his name, but there's a gentleman that came to me that wanted to test a new way of testing honey, or at least determining what was the nectar source in the honey. And he asked, I think Charlie, I don't know if you maybe have heard of this guy. He was in this area, in the Maryland area, and he asked for samples from beekeepers, and I gave him 5 years of samples. Like I gave him time of harvest and everything. I was shocked by what the pollen counts were. And everybody knows that's how they kind of test honey, which is what's the primary pollen count source, is what the nectar source is going to be the primary. It's not one for one. They sometimes could come back with, a blend of other stuff, but they typically, when they're working the pollen, they're bringing the nectar. And if you got a significant amount of this pollen in your source of honey, then that's likely what nectar is in there as well. And you can DNA the nectar, but that's extremely expensive to do. But anywho, this guy came back with these 5 reports on these 5 years. In the last 2 to 3 years, my honey was not what I thought it was. And it was actually, I haven't had a breakdown conversation with him to give a better explanation. I mean, it had all the bits of nectar and pollen that I thought were in there and in the smaller quantities. But I'm talking like 60% of the pollen count in my honeys for the last 3 to 4 years was not what I thought it was.
So what was it?
Kudzu.
Kudzu. Really?
Yeah. And that's a southern.
Oh, I know what kudzu is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not around here.
Well, you think that, Charlie? You think that? I said the same thing to him. He said, people don't realize that bees will go where when they're harvesting the stores versus what they're consuming, right? So a lot of times what ends up happening is the early season honey that, unless you harvest really quick, right? A lot of those early season honey nectar sources, they consume to build comb and to build their nest and to grow. So you're thinking, oh, they're on clove or they're on dandelion, they're on this or on that. They're already consumed through that. They burn through that.
Like Dutch white clover. That's only good for about a couple hours in the morning.
Yeah.
Because after it gets hot, that moisture is gone.
Yep. So many people think that.
If you watch them around where I live, the bee that's on there is a bumblebee.
Yeah.
Not the honeybee. Honeybee don't fool with it at all.
And honeybees like large sources that are continuously flowing both nectar and have pollen as well. And I think that's, if you live anywhere near tributaries, if you look at the Eastern Shore and you look at all the different tributaries of waterways and things that come in, kudzu is a vine flower, primarily a vine flower and a field flower as well. But you'll see that heavily along the tree banks, along the water, and that's where they're going. I mean, they're going where it's plentiful. Now, does that change the taste of the honey? I'm sure it does, but I mean, I've never had people say, "Oh, I don't like your honey." I just have never thought kudzu would be something in honey. I'm thinking tulip poplar, Charlie, right? Black locust, right? That's what I would think, right? That's what I would for years. That's what I thought.
Next, wrong side Pleasantville Road is all locust trees.
Yeah, I mean that's our biggest. We say that's our biggest source, but maybe it's not. Maybe it is, but maybe the timing of when they're storing it and when I'm harvesting it, that's a big piece. Is what I'm harvesting.
And across the road now, I got sumac over there.
Well, sumac was also a very plentiful source. That's actually very. That was one of the other ones that I knew was in there. But we have a lot of sumac around us, Charlie. So.
Yeah, down there, Paul, where you're at down south, that kudzu's down there all over the place. Now, I know there's I've seen some of it here over in the other county next to a railroad track going up a really steep bank, there's a bridge going over top the railroad track. So, there's 100 feet drop to the track below. And I guess they used it for ground cover or somebody threw it out there and it started growing.
We don't have any of that stuff here in Ohio.
I'd like to get some of that. Isn't it kudzu? It's blue looking honey or purple looking.
I
What's
don't
that
know if
purple
that's
honey?
I don't know what's it if it does do that. I mean, I've never
I
noticed
think
a
it's
purple hue to
kudzu.
honey.
It's purple. Someplace in the Carolinas, it's purple honey.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I like to
forget
get.
what
I
it is,
wouldn't.
but
Now that I'd buy a bottle of that.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul says tallow. Yeah, down in your area, tallow. Now there's not a tallow tree around here.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm looking at it now. You know, I've always felt like my honey is dark. I don't have a bottle sitting here, but I can show you. Sitting in the other
It
room.
depends. My
Yeah.
honey is darker, a darker amber.
That's
But
how mine is.
I get some years where if the weather's just right and it's blooming locusts and
Look at that.
not too much rain, that must be buckwheat.
No, it's not. It's just we
So it's overheated.
no, none of these. These have been I take like little teeny bits of
Samples.
each year.
Goldenrod's dark too.
Yeah.
Could be goldenrod.
And like some of these are, so let me see here. So that's fall of 21.
Well, fall, that's your buckwheat and your goldenrod.
And then that's my fall of 24.
Yeah. Is it like separated? No, okay. I love when you get the separation. I have one from a while ago, and
I've got one like
separated. It literally separated the fructose and the glucose separated. You've seen those?
Yeah.
I get a couple of those in the ones that like when people send.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I mean, the difference is, and these are each fall,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this one here, I mean, it's got that. It's probably goldenrod in there.
Dirty sock smell.
It's not buckwheat. We don't have. I wish that we had like.
You got to plant that. That's not wild. You'd have to field a buckwheat that they're planting for seed.
You can have that stuff. That's like eating motor oil.
Yeah.
Oh, I love buckwheat honey. I do. Jarrett gave me when I was down in Virginia working. I stopped by his place, and he had a pint jar of buckwheat honey. I must have been talking about it. And he gave me a pint. Oh my God, I still have it. It's over in my little secret stash over there.
Who is Casing Acres, by the way? I've asked him on the chat. KASINGERSACRES. Who is that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
If you're still on, pop your name below because I don't recognize the tag.
How can you get that to go back to the names?
I don't know. No idea. Instead of the handle.
Yeah. I hate that.
I asked that because he called me a name when I first joined in that I have not been called since college. And I didn't think anybody knew that name. So unless he knows me from somewhere, he just hey, Matthew, what's your last name? And was that just a shot in the dark? Did you just say that or do you actually know me from years back? I'm just curious.
Matthews, he's with Hive for Heroes, Arkansas.
Oh, I mean, he's Hives for Heroes. I mean, I talked to Alden and Steve Jimenez, but I don't know he would know me. Matt Casey.
He said he's got a friend that's Jason Crook.
Oh. So okay. Well, when I was in college, someone called me the Crookinator or Crooktified. When I was in college, I haven't been called that in years. So when he said that, I'm like, check that out.
See,
I haven't heard that in years.
See, See there. Here, let me get Beach Santa out of the way. You got Beach Santa in front of you there, George. There we go.
He wasn't eating much.
I might have to drop off here in a few anyway, because I know that I stepped away from the Christmas wrapping and all that fun stuff.
Trying to get out of it, huh?
I tried to avoid it.
I've got to wrap 2 boxes yet, and then I mean everything else is wrapped. So, and I don't even. I mean, I could wrap 1 box, but my plan is to wrap an item and then wrap it in a box and then wrap it in a box. That way, my wife got to sit there and fuss with it. And I'm going to get my packing tape. And so
I saw one the other day that they were giving away that they did the same thing, but then they did these like planks and they put like long screws and they had like 30 screws on each end, like bolts, like nuts on each end. So it's almost like a compression box. Like there are boards between the box the present was in there.
yeah,
And they drilled holes and they took long, screws and they had nuts on like 10 nuts on each side.
Jason,
complicated.
I'll look it up. There's somebody that created a 3D printed box that has screws in it.
Yeah.
And there's like 30 some screws on this darn thing to open up the box.
That's crazy.
Yeah. What? Oh, he's getting orders right now. You see, he turned his head. He muted. He's getting orders.
There's my daughter.
Hi, how are you guys?
How are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Are you ready for Santa Claus?
I'm so excited. I just got finished wrapping my presents.
You didn't wrap your presents.
Well, not my presents.
Oh, the presents for everybody else, yeah.
Yeah.
Did your dad make Aztec whistles for everybody?
No.
No.
I actually got the thing to work with the ABS. And I made a I got this thing I got finished.
Did you use the glue stick on it and tweak the temperatures? Oh yeah, there you go. Did you have to adjust the bed temperature?
Glue stick. I just made sure it was secure.
Glue stick.
And then actually that's a different one than when I downloaded it. It was made for, I guess, for APS as well.
Oh,
so I guess they slow down the first beginning lines.
Oh,
so that it establishes the base foundation and then it speeds up as the print goes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, and I made a headphone stand for my son. And that turned out pretty good. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, just dabbling.
Yeah.
Let me show you.
I told you, basic stuff like that. Just get PLA.
I know. I'm going to order some PLA and just make it so I'm safe on that. Let me show you real quick. George, bring George's back to the whole. Where's that video file? How do I share my screen?
Nice to see you guys.
See you, dear.
Merry Christmas.
I'll see you. Merry Christmas.
Here we go. George, can you see that?
No.
Oh, here, I'll bring it up. There we go.
Yeah. See that? That's someone built that for me. I'm going to fast forward real quick. Hang on. So you can see it, what it looks like. So you can see from the side. It's got doors underneath. And this is the video, so I'm not going to.
Did I see that?
Commercial. You did see it when you're. No, it wasn't here when you were here. Oh, yeah, you did. I showed it to you. Yeah, so here's a walk around of it. Let's see if I open it up on the inside real quick. I didn't build this, George. Someone built it for me.
Wasn't that the one that was super heavy and all that stuff? Or was that the one that
No, this is a different one.
Was that the one that had the mice living in top of it?
No, it was a different one. That's out behind the barn. So this one right here, you can see. Look, so you can see the frames. This is what I wanted to show you, George. Look, see?
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
It's a medium and a deep, and he just basically built the frames for it like it's almost like a top bar with the polygonal shaped frame.
Yep.
And he did this little kind of like thing where you can, so that way you can go around the tops when you push them together. So
those are tapered?
Yeah.
So they're like the primal hives?
Yes.
Only the primal hives are deeper than that yet.
Yes, correct. And I have a screened inner cover in here just to help kind of keep them from coming, because this whole top box up here is wide enough, or deep enough, I should say, that you can actually set a super right on top. the frames. Like, see how this right here? That's a screen intercover. You can see that's the size of a traditional Langstroth.
Right.
You got a screen bottom board in the bottom?
Yeah, screen bottom.
That's nice.
And it's angled on the side for watershed.
Yep. I just love the top part of it. It's almost like it's like a cavity that you can put it. You can put a medium here. That's the size of the footprint of a medium.
Sure.
Of course, it would be higher. That's just a screen intercover, and that's only where they're at. Like if I stopped them right there, because there's that underneath that one board right here is a division board or whatever you call those. You can see it there.
Yeah.
Extra division boards on the sides. It's
They
pretty
need
sharp
to get
setup.
on that. Jabbees in that now?
Yep.
Huh.
I don't know how we stop sharing here. Oh yeah, let's pull one out and see if they just. This is one after I installed it. It was a swarm that I put in there. Let me see if they play. Let me get it here real quick. There we go. So they're building it out. Play.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Okay, see another.
They're working it.
Oh yeah.
Well, now the next thing you got to do is you're going to have to contact Michael and have him make up some infinity frames for that thing.
Look at that. Yeah. No.
It'll be,
No.
It'll
yeah.
be 400,000 for the molds.
That's right.
Those are Aposolus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's nothing. I like the Aposolus for what it is. You can stop running it now. I think I stopped it.
Oh, yeah.
It's all
I like the Aposolus, Charlie. I just don't. I like it, but I don't like it. I like the convenience of it, of being always there. I don't. The smell is. I tolerate it. I don't. I think it can get very like if you set that up in your honey house, you bring it inside, you set it in your honey house, and it's sitting there. The smell will permeate in the honey house, so it'll smell in the honey house. And
What's it smell like, Jason?
Brian, you want me to say it, but I'm not going to say it because I've told him what I said it smells like.
well, I bought one of the new B Smart or whatever it is.
Tech B.
Tech B. That's it.
I want to try one of them. I want to see one. So you like that?
I got one on order.
Okay.
And
I want to see if they have it in Nobby. If anybody has a good.
He's going to have them there. I like. I mean, I'm not a big out in the yard. I don't really use a lot of smoke.
I don't much either, but
there's sometimes like if I'm setting, I don't know. Let's say I'm covering up the inner holes of the inner covers when I'm doing my insulation in the fall, and they're kind of coming up. If I could just pull the trigger like that and put the cover on, and I'm done. And then I find myself. I had gotten to the point where I never could keep my smoker lit, and I just got to the point. I started working the hives without the smoker because it wasn't running, and I'd take my finger and push the bees out of the way so I could pick them up and whatever, and I just got used to that.
Yeah.
I haven't used a smoker for 2 years. I just use a water mist, clean water mist.
I've heard people say that's a good, like little sugar water mist, and sometimes
No sugar. That gives the bees something to come after.
Oh
if I just use plain water, it works like smoke to me. But
yeah,
you saw my hives. I don't have a whole box of bees coming out.
Well, it kind of depends. And then if you put regular smoke on them, then that stirs them up. They get a little bit. You hear the pitch goes up.
Yeah.
And they does calm them down, and you can smoke them down or whatever. But I don't know. I think the gun thing, to me, the Aposolus, you got
they're handy.
Yeah, well, I look at it this way. You got the original smoker. The Aposolus is kind of like the horseless carriage if you're comparing cars. And now you got this one that looks like a gun or a drill, and you pull the trigger and it just does it when you need it. And it's like that's the model
I
A.
ordered a Tech B, yeah.
I'm gonna get one of those also, Charlie. I should get a holster. I've got one of those Paul Kelly,
Well, I'll tell you something.
I need to get a holster, and then I can exactly.
Well, actually, somebody's already asked the guy. I can't remember his first name.
Michael.
Michael to get holsters for him. But then you got this a friend of mine, and I've seen the guys come in the mill here. It's a carpenter's belt. They got multitude of different things that they add to this belt, and they have one of them's a magnet, and it's got a nice little clip on it that you can put it like in your pocket, and it'll hold hold your hive tool.
I don't want to get you shut off, Brian. So I'm not lifting up too high.
Oh,
Your channel. But you
What's
know
that?
what it is. I said I don't want to get him shut off on the
oh
channel.
yeah. I
So,
know what it is.
I lifted it up just enough so you know what it is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's a holster one. It's like you're talking about, like one of
Yeah.
those like Miami Vice type style.
I should if I
you
get
mean
one of those,
a one like that?
Yeah.
I get one of those things and use it. I need to dub in sound of like a machine gun going. You know,
Mhm.
I need to do
Put some
something.
Phil Collins. I put some Phil Collins in there. I can in the air.
Oh
Tonight,
yeah,
right.
have like Crockett and Tubbs in the
That's what I mean.
background.
Uh,
Oh man,
mm,
Not in there. It's Facebook.
this is what
Yeah.
beekeepers talk about.
right.
Fun. Todd might join here in a little bit. He messaged.
I'm gonna have to jump off here in just a second.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that.
Oh wow. Let me pull up. There we go. Michael just sent over. Look at this. Look at that picture.
Wow.
Wow,
That's nice.
that's a variety. All mine
Yeah.
are down in the barn. I have them all on the shelves in the barn.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I got one that was a whipped from 3 years. No, from would have been 3 years ago. Whipped honey that someone had given me at the conference formerly known as, well, now knows as, and it's separated. It's the weirdest thing on the shelf. Like it looks like it's got like the foam, real light air foam whipped honey at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Got a really dark black band almost, and then like a lighter band below.
Mm-hmm.
It's the weirdest looking honey. Like I don't know what made it do that. Maybe the heavy glucose fructose whipped. I don't know what did it, but it was definitely neat.
The product's called Holstery, and they've got a multitude of for construction people, like they got a bag, or you got a thing that you can hook your drill on. The drill has like a hook on it, and it'll go in and lock in, and it's got a magnet for some other tools and whatever. And it had a pocket where you would probably put nails in it or screws or something. And I'm like, man, that would be perfect for that smoker. And then it's got you can buy just a magnet clip that's got a belt clip on it. I'm like, well, you could clip that on the side of your bee jacket's pocket or on the inside, or just slip it in, and your hive tool would stay right there. I've tried magnets. Some of them are too strong, and some of them ain't strong enough.
I need to get myself some pieces of leather and make myself a holster for that darn tech bee for when I get one.
Yeah, it just
I think the battery's going to be a little bit of a nuisance, though.
Well, the battery on that one, you can have like 2 or 3 of them and just have them charged up. Because I
Right.
think
But
they
I mean, for a holster, it's going to have the bulky battery at the
well,
top.
yeah,
It'll stand up nicely. That's the advantage.
yeah. I'll have to play with it when I get it. Yeah. Oh, Michael's about to start bottling up bourbon aged honey. Ooh. See there? See? Uh-oh. Hey, Jason, you have a good one, buddy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas.
All right, good to see you, Jason.
Jason, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
Yep, I'll be there.
Oh, yeah. Todd, what's up?
Oh, hang on. I made the fatal mistake of leaving the volume on the YouTube side. Sorry.
See?
There's the Brian, if you want to check in the private chat, there's that holstery.com. It's they're not cheap, but they got some nice ideas there, especially the magnet thing. Check it out
Okay.
later. Check it out
Ooh.
later. They got you got a thing where you can clip a bag in and put that there new smoker gun in there. And
I like that.
yeah, they got some really dandy ideas. They're not, it ain't a cheap deal, but
Oh, wow.
and I got a friend of mine, she's got I can send you another thing for like a 10% off.
That's kind of slick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. Huh. Very
I can't
cool.
wait to get mine.
Todd, what's happening?
I talked to Michael a little bit about Knobby and walking around, I guess with the prototype and maybe just, walking around just using it, drum up interest. But
Yeah.
we haven't finalized anything about that yet. But I'd do that, walk around all day with that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be slick.
I got in on his like beta test, but I could never line up like time to formally meet. He wanted to schedule up a meeting, and every time like the openings that he had on his schedule, it's always during the day for me.
Oh yeah.
And it was always like when I'm working.
Yeah.
So, and it's like I train a computer program, to doctors, nurses. So it's like, well, I can't tell my boss, hey, can I have a half hour off? Can you have somebody jump in my class? I need to talk to this guy about a bee smoker.
Hey,
So-
that reminds me, I've always wanted to ask you this question. It came up about 4 or 5 months ago. Did you hear? I'm not going to name names. That product that you train people on. Did you hear about the brouhaha over here in Fresno?
No.
Well, I'll have to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you offline or maybe
Yeah.
down here. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. So
Huh.
shocking, really.
In Fresno, I could probably look it up.
Yeah, I bet you could. Yeah. It was.
Folks
something
every
else.
once in a while. Yeah.
But I haven't heard anything about it recently, so I don't know what happened to it. Maybe it shook out, but it was quite the story. So anyway, sorry to drag the show down.
No, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, I could. Well, I don't have the article, but I could.
Ooh, a kickback.
Yeah, you found it. Yeah, and they uncovered a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
31.5, huh?
Yeah. Big number.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
What is it? What was it?
Oh,
What I
It's in
do
the
for
private chat.
yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah. It's what I do for a living. The story about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear
Well-
about it. There's so much like that software is all over the world now. So when something happens, I don't, it's so widespread now that you don't hear those stories anymore.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you would have heard about it. But now it's just so, it's worldwide. So you don't ever hear anything.
Yeah. Well, we're getting rain out here.
I've seen that.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The National Weather Service is scaring people to death with all their predictions and stuff. It's just rain.
Well, here on the news, they're showing, I think it's up north there of where the water's kind of laying on the road. I mean, it looked like to me you had an SUV that's going through about 4 to 6 inches of water and splashing on the sides of the road. And it's like, well, it ain't like it's 3 feet deep, you know.
Yeah. Well, I've seen people go through those puddles, but they had no idea there was a big, huge pothole in the middle of it.
I saw on the news here, and I don't pay attention to a lot of it, but they showed, there were no cars on the road, of course, and they showed water, but then there was a guy walking, and I'm like, well, if there's a guy walking with shoes on, I mean, drive a car through it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's just like Todd talked about, where they're not used to having rain, and they're going down the interstate 90 mile an hour, and it's like, are you stupid? Because we are used to that, where you slow down when it's raining.
They're going to have a date.
And you got to figure all that oil that's on the road, it's trying to get washed off because it never gets washed off.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a huge buildup of oil and stuff on roadways.
Oh, yeah.
This morning I had to deliver honey at work. Quite a few people made orders. Excuse me. And I took today off and Friday off. So I get off the exit off the highway, and there was an Amazon truck behind me, and it was one of the off ramps that curl around, and I just caught him when I was looking in the rear view mirror. He started going sideways, trying to make the turn, and next thing you know, it went whoop, he disappeared. So he went down in the little gully there. So
your package has experienced a delay in transit.
Yeah. I mean, the people they drive like, Mario Andretti's.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I just watched Greg put a video out sometime this evening, and it was there was a chat. I don't know how many of us it was at Nabby last year. I don't know. There had to have been like 12 of us. Charlie, you were there. You were talking.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I was driving down last year, so it was right around like 32, 33 degrees in there, south of Columbus. Okay, Columbus, Ohio. And I'm going, and then I just seen that sheen on the road, and I'm like, yeah, this don't look good. So and then up ahead of me, all I saw were red lights.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, this don't look good. So I just took my foot off the gas, and I thought, well, I'm going to coast something. This bozo in this big, I don't know, it was a bigger truck, F-350, or I don't know, whatever it was. He flew past me like I was sitting still, and just, and I'm like, holy, and as soon as he passes me, I see him do this, slides sideways, and then spins around, goes down into the grass, and flipped on his side. And I thought, and I didn't stop. I'm looking as I'm passing him, and I'm thinking, well, you're an idiot. And it was solid black ice, and there was all the red lights up ahead of me. It was a semi that was jackknifed. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
People, they do stuff like that with that weather. And if you just slow up a little, you're fine.
That's just like today. I was coming back from a delivery with my big truck, and I'm going 50 mile an hour. I'm going the speed limit, and they're passing me on a yellow line. And here comes a car coming this way. And the one guy goes, he's in pretty good. Here comes another one right next to me, in and around. And, like you say, they go on up just a little bit. I'll make a left-hand turn now. And I'm like, really? You had to do all that? So you're there, and I'm passing you when you go by to make a left-hand turn?
Yeah. I know. I just shake my head. Yeah.
I'm waiting for this damn rain to stop so I can put fondant
Usually
on.
it'll stop for the next 6 months, right?
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to rain the next 3 days. This evening it quit. It rained so hard last night. It woke me up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And usually it doesn't. But I had a break in the clouds just long enough to get out to the barbecue and put some meat on there and barbecue some meat. And then it started, well, it's cleared up now, but it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. Yeah, and then Friday. So Saturday I'll be able to put them on. I hope they need it. I ordered a bunch from Matt over at Sandy Valley Honey. So,
I checked all of my fondant yesterday, and there was, I don't know, maybe a third of my colonies. I had to slap another one on them. So
yeah, I saw that video. They're pretty thick.
They're
all over that.
Yeah, they're. I think I'm going to be busy in the springtime.
You might be splitting a few here and there.
Well, my plan, what I wanted to do was, I said, I'm going to split to replace dead outs and then demoray the others. But I think I'm just going to be busy, but it's okay. I mean, I'll take it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean,
what do you think has changed? What have you changed anything or
nothing?
Last year you had all kinds of problems.
I didn't change anything.
But you have new queens, though.
Well, most of my bees that I have over there now, they're packages that I got just to replenish numbers. And there's 4 or 5 of them were existing ones. They're survivors. But like I changed nothing in my management.
Yeah.
I do the same mite treatments. I feed them. Everything is the same. And it's just, I kind of think what, I don't know who said it, but they were talking about like that. It's almost like that roller coaster effect where every, like, so often there's like a huge die off in the bees. Is it like what'd they say?
I think it's 8 years, isn't it? Something like that.
Is it every 8?
Yeah, they were talking about that with the bees out west there. All them bees, he said, there's every 10 years or every 8 years or something like that.
Whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah.
It got me last year, so maybe I'm good for a while.
Yeah. Hey, if I'm good for 8 years now, I'm going to take it,
I think somebody was talking about, what was it? Not trach. What's the problem? Nosema, is it?
Tricholalapse.
No, Zema. There are 2 different types of that.
Nosema cerana and
something else.
Yeah.
Where a lot of that comes, for some reason, it comes around every so often. It hits you hard.
Yeah.
Now, I just seen a video about what do you call it? Tracheomites. I'm like, we ain't had tracheomites in years. I mean, are somebody trying to stir something up with that or what? I don't know.
I don't know. But
the oxalic acid helps kill tracheomites.
I don't think anybody's testing for tracheomites.
I don't think anybody does. Yeah.
Yeah, not anymore. But maybe someone should to see.
Yeah, I don't know. My quail, to answer this here, I stumbled upon these waterers that they're like $30 a piece. I've got 4 of them, and they were the best darn things that I bought because they have a temperature rheostat in them, and if the temperature dips below like 40, it heats up the water. So 2 of them are right about a gallon, and with 2 of those filled up in each one of my cages, they're good for 2.5 days. So best purchase I tried messing around when I got those quail. 3 years ago now, maybe it was. I don't know. I tried messing around, jerry rigging up, MacGyvering, some type of heated system. And yeah, when it got negative, whatever, every single one of my lines was busted and water's, and I was taking water out then every day. And I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. And I don't even know how I stumbled upon it, but best darn $120 I ever spent.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How is the quail? You doing more? I thought you said you were downsizing on that too.
So I downsized the ones that I had. I had Caternix quail. They're like a smaller quail, and they give you those speckled eggs, like what everybody sees. I had oh God, like 40 of them.
Oh, jeez.
And I've only got 10 now. I sent like 30 of them to the spa.
You mean the freezer camp?
Exactly. And but I got these other jumbo bob whites that are almost weight-wise, they're almost 3 times the weight. And the Caternix quail, they only live around 2 years. Like they don't have a very long lifespan. These jumbo bob whites that I got have a 5-year lifespan. So now they don't start laying typically the first year, they just grow and mature. So the first year you get very little eggs. All the years after that, you'll get 4 years worth of eggs out of them. So that's what I was looking at. So, and I've got 29 of those. So I still have, almost 40 birds. But they're so easy to take care of. I mean,
Is that what Brian's talking about? Quail eggs? Is that what you sell?
We do sell some like in the summer when we're getting like a crap ton of them. My wife, where she works at, there's a number of Hispanics there, and in certain areas of the countries where they're from, I don't know the exact countries where a couple of them are from. I know some of them are from Mexico, and they don't have chickens. They have quail. And when they heard that, I don't know if she brought in hard-boiled quail eggs, or I don't know what she took in, but when they saw that she had quail eggs, they just got talking, and they were like, "Do you sell them?" And she's like, "Yeah." So we literally have sold, oh my gosh. I mean, there was one lady there that probably was buying 6, 8, 10 dozen a pop. So
how many eggs do you get a day?
We get about an egg per bird a day.
Do they slow down this time of year like chickens do?
They do, but I have LED Christmas lights in their cages. So
festive.
I'm like Charlie with the Demaray, how you're working the queens. I throw the lights in there, so I want those girls are getting a free ride out of me.
That's what the farmers do.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I need to replay that stream you had with Randy last week or the week before, because he was talking about that system that's very similar to the Demery system. And
I'll have to look that up and check it out. What's it under?
Well,
it's not Demaray, I don't think, is it?
No. Well, he was on the stream team 2 weeks ago.
He said basically, I mean, you just split it over and just combine it back.
Yeah.
The basics of it.
I can't visualize that.
When you got your 2 boxes, just move one over, do a split, and then just move it back.
Where's your honey supers at?
Yeah, I guess put them on after that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never heard of it, so I was like, well, interesting stuff.
Oh, wow. Look at this. $7 a dozen. Wow. That's crazy. Those waterers that I have, I think the company is Rent a Coop. I think that's what it is. I think it would be. I'll put it into the chat. Rent a Coop. There you go. I think that's the company name. They've got waterers for like quail.
Rent a Coop waterer.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, I'll have to look at that. I don't know. This next year, I think thinking about it now, I probably need to check how many deeps I have. If I demoray like 10 of them, I'm going to need, at least 10 more deeps.
See, that just seems like a lot of work. I don't know why. I hear Charlie explain it every year, but it seems like a lot.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to try it out,
Maybe I should change my name to Lazy Vista Beco. I don't know. It just seems like a lot.
It is Rent a Coop.
Which one is it?
They sell like feed stuff too. It's on Amazon. I'll just share the screen, that way you can see share the screen. There you go. Yeah, Rent a Coop. They sell all kind of stuff. Poultry feeders, waters. Their waters, purchase.
Which one is it?
It's that. I got the waterer that I got right there. Unavailable. See what it is. It's got a little metal, the little nipple feeder on it, and it's heated, so it never freezes. That's the best darn purchase I ever bought right there.
Huh.
Yep. Yeah, I was worried because I've seen some where the feeder on it is plastic. It's like a composite, and I'm like, yeah, that's not going to conduct enough heat. And theirs, like, they had a big, they must have tested them and all that kind of stuff, but theirs is metal, and they never freeze. I've never had a problem. Like when we got to last year we were negative, I don't know, close to negative 20. They're fine. This year we've been down to 2. I think our wind chills were like -5, but that won't bother that water. We've been down around 2 degrees, and they're fine. Yeah. Yep. Anything to make life easier, I'll spend $30 on. Yeah.
That's like Brian from Plow Street. You could. The only problem with that, Brian, is they make more than one queen cell. You could probably have to go out there and cut them out, but that's where you take them frames out of the top, put in it. I'm going to put them in a 2-frame mating box, and let them hatch. I think another thing I'm thinking about is like if I got a 24 queen out there and she's still alive this spring, I will pull out frames of bees and her and put them in a 2-frame mating box and let them build that hive up.
I think
I'll sell that overwintered queen.
There you go. I think I'm probably going to end up having to order like 15 or 20 queens just to replace my queens in the summer here.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine this afternoon. He was getting like 120 or 30 of them. From out in California someplace.
Yeah. I'd be curious how some of those, how Randy's queens from Oliveira's, I forget the name of it, West, I don't know,
Golden
West
West.
something.
Golden West.
Yeah, Golden West.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I've heard some negative results about it. I mean, I don't know. I've gotten queens from other places, and some of them are good and some of them are bad. you know?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple of my hives, from my last few videos, I had a couple people messaging me, about this and that, about my genetics. And I'm like, look, they're packages. There's 2 or 3 over there that are a little feistier than what I would like them. But my whole entire goal for this year was to rebuild numbers. I did not want to screw around with requeening and doing stuff like that. Those colonies were building up, and they packed in decent weight. So I did not want to, pinch queens and then reintroduce and get into a situation where they kill the queen that I put in and then drop some cells. I just didn't want to get into that. So I figured I'll get through this year. I've got 2 or 3 that are a little, they've got some attitude to them. But moving forward, once my numbers are back up, then I'm going to get, focused on the genetics, and I'll chill them out. So, but, like they're not, they only come at me when I open them up. I can walk down there. I can sit by them. I got my white little plastic yard chair that's down in the apiary still. I leave it there all winter. It's got a cracked leg, so I'm waiting one time for my fat rear to sit on it, and I'm gonna fall over, and it'll probably be on video. I'll set up a video and I'll go down and sit in that darn thing for a break. But
Well, you need to get a aluminum bench like I got. I'll tell you, that's the best money spent.
yeah,
I bought a second one over here at what's it
Harbor
called?
Freight.
Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
It weighs 11 pounds. It's 40 inches long. It's 16 or 18 inches tall.
It's handy.
I can put 2 telly covers upside down on it to catch bees and whatever.
Yeah.
Or you can use it to sit there and sit on and rest yourself.
Harbor Freight sells it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The legs fold in and they lock out, but they got little clippy locks,
Yeah.
And, when you're fooling with like the wooden hives, all you're doing is moving to the right side and you got it sitting right there.
Yeah.
You don't have to go all the way down to the ground or anything. It's like everything's at your waist height, kind of.
Yeah.
Almost at your waist height. When you go pick the box back up, you don't have to bend way over. You just reach around and grab it comfortably and put the thing back on. Best money I ever spent, like $50.
Yeah, I like.
No, 65. I think. Sometimes it depends on. I think it was like $50 on a sale one time.
Yeah.
And then I had that pickup truck there. Then all them new darn pickup trucks, they got them all jacked up into the air, and you can't reach over the sides and grab something like you used to, like my old pickup truck. So, same company, they make a little flat footstool that raises up about 1.5 feet up off the ground or something, and they got the little legs, and it weighs maybe 3 pounds. And I lay that there, and then you can step up on that and grab something out of the back of the truck right quick if it ain't near the tailgate. And then you fold it up, and it's a package about that big, foot square. Put it in the back seat.
I got to go visit Harbor Freight.
Yeah, it's I'll have to tell you what
They
the
probably
brand.
have them at Lowe's or Home Depot too, but
Yeah.
I just went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Harbor Freight, they just Lowe's I find to be quite high when it comes.
Yeah.
We've only got one Lowe's around my area, and it's probably 10 or 15 minutes further than me driving to Home Depot or Harbor Freight. So where the Home Depot and Harbor Freight are, they're like 30 seconds apart. So
Good
I just
planning.
drive over there and I'll just check prices, you know.
Yeah, it's a Franklin 40-inch lightweight aluminum workbench.
Okay. I'll check that out because I'll tell you, like, I need to change a couple things over in my yard. Like, I've got the fabric underneath of all of my colonies now. I went out and bought, have you guys ever heard of MacBid?
No.
MacBid is this, like, it's like an auction site where they get like Amazon returns.
Oh,
And like you can go on there and like I got the 6 foot wide, like that black rural thick fabric.
Yeah, fabric. Yeah.
I got a roll. It was like a 6 foot by like 300 feet, and I got it for like $40. It was unopened in the box. You can get like some things dirt cheap. Like I just got a cart to haul like my totes for the markets. It was they're $150 on Amazon, and I got it for I think it was like $48 or something like that.
What's it called?
It's called MacBid. MacBid. Yeah, MacBid.
I'm gonna grab a pen.
You say MAC?
Yep, BID. Now I don't know if they have them in your area, but like I got that fabric, so I plan on going over like part of my spring prep.
Yeah.
Is I'm gonna lay that other fabric out.
Oh yeah. See, now that's what I had carpet, and the carpet's getting about rotted, and the darn grass is coming up. Now I need to get out there really in the wintertime and redo all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that thing is 40 inches long, 12 inches wide, and it's 20 inches tall.
And it's only 11 pounds?
Yeah. The whole thing weighs 11 pounds.
Okay.
Now they got it at $70 now. Obviously, the darn thing, I guess, because of the tariff, has jumped.
Oh,
But
okay.
if you got a Harbor Freight,
the
membership, you can get $20-$30 off of it.
Yeah. George, do you do videos?
No, I haven't done that yet.
See there, you're getting popular about them long langs. You know, they can tell you that you're an expert on it. Now you're going to be selling and making frames for everybody.
Well, I built a Morton building when I retired, and the city said no manufacturing.
Well, you're not manufacturing anything. You're just making it for yourself.
Yeah,
But somebody's going to come along and say, hey, can I have that? And you say, sure, just give me some.
that's what I thought. I'm done with that part. You can have.
Well, the government don't want you to do anything because they're not making any money off of you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then I bought it's an 18-inch step stool for.
I'm going to have to go on there and
Now see, this is the thing. If you're a member, you can get it for $28. If you're not a member, it's $38. So I don't know how much a membership is.
Yeah.
Franklin.
What was it again? Franklin what? Franklin.
It's a Franklin 40-inch lightweight aluminum bench work platform. What it was for is like when you're doing drywall.
I see it.
I just keep it out at the Hive all the time.
$65.
Yeah, I carry one in my truck.
And then I got that little step stool for.
That's going to be that's going to be on my list.
I mean, I'll tell you. I mean, that's what a back saver.
Yeah.
Back saver.
Yeah.
It's huge. I got two of them now. I got that line so long, it's over 150, 200 feet long. I got one at each end. I do this one area here, and then the other one.
Yeah.
And that's what, like that old truck cab sitting there. Instead of me folding them legs down, I turn around, put it inside the truck cab out of the way. And then I got the other one. I folded it up and brought it inside my shed where I keep my boxes and stuff for the winter.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's man. I told Carl up there in Pennsylvania, and he went out and got 2 of them, one from him and his wife, and he said, "My gosh, that's the best thing I ever got a hold of." I said,
Well,
"Yeah,
like
20 inches up off the ground. You don't have to bend over that far."
those
Yeah.
hive stands that I built, because I've got all my hives on an individual stand.
Yeah.
They're 18-inch legs. So, I mean, I wouldn't have to bend over at all. I could lift my supers and
Just go sideways and drop. You're done.
Yeah.
It's perfect, and you can angle that thing.
Well,
on an
and you know
angle
what?
wherever you want. You can set it wherever you want it.
Well, I've got enough space in between my colonies that I could even set it. I mean, I could put it wherever.
I just get it to where I bring that corner or that front corner up there close to the hive to where I can turn around and drop. You know,
Yeah.
just one fell swoop.
Yeah. I'm going to have to snag one of those, because I'll tell you what I may end up doing with that fabric when I redo my fabric. Now, I'm going to leave the gray that I have down. There's a couple tears where grass is coming up. I'm going to rip the grass in that out. But then I've got 300 feet of that thick fabric. So I'm probably going to do two strips of it. That way it is solid. So any little thing I can do just to.
Well, you're going to find 2 things with fabric, just like with me. And you know, I don't. Is yours mostly out in the sunlight, or does it? I know it's got trees behind it.
They get shade later in the day. Like,
you got any hive beetle problems?
No,
I don't either. Normally, I've got a few of them out there. I've seen here and there, but if I put that fabric down, they can't pupate. And then you'll always get the guy out there saying, well, they'll fly and they'll crawl and they'll do this. And what's the name down in Florida said, you know, he's seen it go down the hallway. And I'm like, yeah, but it was a 98-degree sun beating down off of that thing and cooking that bad boy.
Yeah.
You know? And you don't have the beetle problems.
I'll see. For me to say that I had a beetle problem, like, I think the most I've ever seen in one colony is I might have seen 15 or 20. And to me, that's a lot.
Yeah. I pulled the bottom coroplast boards out. I've seen 3 on the bottom coroplast boards dead.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't, and when I see them like that, you know, the bees have them wrangled up top, and right when I pull
mine are, I might see 1.
I'm doing the old scrunch to the couple, but I don't see nearly as many. Like, I got rid of all my inner covers. There's certain things that I did that I think helped, because the bees can manage them as they normally would. So
now, if my son can get out there with his skid steer with a cab so he doesn't get stung, and he can go in there and raise up each rack up, and then I can draw a sheet of that underneath there and then cut it. Or just, I don't know how you would do that. I would guess you would lay it all the way out if you want to run one continuous run, and start at the one end and stuff it underneath there, and then just keep rolling it forward.
Forward. You know what I do? So when I did it where I have it now, I set the roll down, and because they're on hive stands, so I'd roll it down to the hive stand, I'd lift it and roll it under the hive stand, drop it down, lift the other side, and then roll it. So I just rolled it down. I went down with my jacket on just because I was lifting the boxes and stuff, and it wasn't bad. I mean, like, late winter or spring is probably the best time because the hives are lighter. So
yeah.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
That hot honey.
Yeah. Did you do it?
I'm killing it. So, when we were talking, I couldn't get the powder, right? So I went with another recipe that I got from Matt with fresh habaneros. So
Okay.
I cut those up and filtered it. It's basically the same way that you did it, but
So,
I mean, it's flying off.
oh yeah, here,
It's
I'll share something with you. Right there. That's on Amazon, Sonoran spiced habanero flakes.
oh,
That's what I use for this is for the more mild, and then my
yeah,
ghost pepper, I just buy like a ghost pepper flakes. But that's it.
yeah. See, I used fresh stuff, so I had to burp the bucket. I had to
Oh,
stir it
okay.
for a few days. But I'll tell you what. So I'll put it. I'm not a spicy fan, right? But I put a drop on a spoon and tasted it, and it kind of lit me up a little bit. But here's the weird thing. Yesterday, hang on a second. I don't know what's wrong with my voice the last several weeks, but anyway. Um,
There you go.
oh geez. Is that like that's 8 ounces?
Yeah.
It's like a lifetime supply.
I've already gone through one of those.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, with my habaneros, it's only 8 ounces of fresh habanero pepper. And you stir it continuously for like 30
Yeah.
minutes. But when it'll light me up if I have a little bit on a spoon. If I put it on a tortilla chip that's salted,
It's good.
you can't taste it. There's no heat. It eliminates the
Really?
heat. And I was like, what the heck is this?
Huh.
Yeah, you could just taste the honey. No heat.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Huh.
So, but it's been going good. So I'll have right now everybody's saying, yeah, that's kind of spicy. I would call it mild. And I'm thinking, holy cow, they just had a whole spoonful. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be making the ghost pepper flake pretty
The
quick.
ghost. So did I send you my like exact gram?
Yeah.
The ghost, it's like for me, like I don't do super hot, but I do like some spicy things.
Yeah.
And that kind of ratio that I figured out, the people that I know that have tried it, they've been like, yep, that works.
Hmm.
So, and it sells good. I mean, it's a really good seller.
Now, do you put it in 8-ounce bottles or do you do 1 pound bottles?
So I learned I was selling all my hot honey in 8-ounce bottles. And then when I was doing the markets and I first started doing it, I had samples and I'd give people a sample and they'd be like, is that all you have are the little jars? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, give me 2, give me 3 of them.
Yeah.
So I do 8 ounces and 8-ounce and 16-ounce jars now.
Okay.
So, and they sell good. Now my habanero, because I was just trying it, I've actually sold more of the habanero than the ghost.
Yeah.
So I only did the habanero in 8-ouncers just to try it. Next year I'm probably going to have 8-ounce and 16 of both. So it sells quick. I mean,
Yeah.
my wife hates when I make it just because using that powder, the flakes, the whole entire downstairs, it smells like somebody let off like a tear gas bomb.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was washing out that bucket with hot water.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I did it with cold water first and Dawn and all that. And I thought, oh, it's pretty good now, good to go.
No.
Hot water, all those fumes got me. I was like, oh, I couldn't. Maybe that's why my throat is so raspy.
I learned my lesson. So, like when I do my hop spider, I let it drain for a little while, and then I would rinse the pepper flakes just so that I could dump them out.
Yeah.
and I had like as hot of water that I had just pure hot water out of the sink, and I sprayed that darn hop spider, and when that mist come up, I about died. I'm in the kitchen. I mean, I was like choking.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
It's
that
tough.
was me. Now
Yeah.
on the I'm not going to say the numbers, but on the habanero flakes, did you use the same numbers?
I did.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I just switched it out. So now
Okay.
they're a lighter. The ghost pepper that I get is 250,000 Scoville.
Oh, jeez.
The habanero that I got, I think, was 50,000. So it's considerably less.
Yeah.
I just wanted to try it. I did one batch, and I took a trial to my wife, and I said, "Hey, here, try this." And she said, "I don't want any of that stuff." I said, "Well, it's more mild." And like with the ghost pepper infused, she didn't like it at all. She didn't like it. It was too hot. With the habanero, she said, I would actually eat them.
Yeah.
So for people that are new to hot honey, that don't really like spicy foods, that is perfect. Because you're getting the whole hot honey experience. You get the honey taste, you get that little spice to it, and they're getting the whole experience out of it. So that's the last couple markets. I had one lady that she's like, I really don't like hot stuff, but all my friends talk about this stuff. And I told her, I said, ma'am, you do not want to touch the ghost pepper because you're going to be miserable.
It'll tear you up.
Yep. But it's funny, like when you tried it, the heat in your mouth, it's gone in like a minute and a half. It's such a different heat,
Yeah. So I've heard 3 different things. Well, one we already know, fried chicken. It's good, drizzled over fried chicken.
Yeah.
Another one that I've heard lately is pizza. And then here's a weird one, vanilla ice cream.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, and I'll toss another one at you. Get a glazed donut.
Oh, jeez. Really?
I'm serious.
Wow. Okay.
I was at Greg's, and he had like, oh, here you go. DC got one too, right there. Pork
there you go.
And then throw some of that on. Yep. Coffee. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. I was at Greg's, and he had a couple different hot honeys that people had sent that we were going to try, and he forgot to like pick up anything for us to eat it with. Well, the only thing he had sitting around were donuts, and I'm like, I'll eat a donut. Look at my figure. I like donuts. I mean, we ate so many donuts. Susie was just like, you two are ridiculous. So it's good though, like, because you have that sweet, you get the sweet flavor, from the glaze on those donuts, and it's so good.
It's funny. So when they try it, they just put a little bit on a spoon and taste it. Half the people will say the heat is first, and then the sweet is second, and then the other half say the opposite. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But it's
Look
good.
at this.
Good.
Yeah, we're still going. He's going to try to get up close to my numbers.
We're on the marathon tonight.
Only have 3.5 hours to catch Charlie's record.
We're on the marathon. Yeah. That's it. The link is still up there, Bruce. Now he has a ton of stuff going on in the next week. Daughter's getting married. I mean, you basically have Christmas. He's got New Year's. He's got wedding. And then 6 days after a wedding, he's got the expo. So his next 2 weeks are just nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like mine.
Yeah. Bruce, you have a good one, buddy. I enjoyed your pictures. So he had pictures holding a little grandbaby.
Huh.
Yeah. And I'll tell you here, I got to show you. Let me see here. Let me look it up. Let's see here. Oh, let me see if I can zoom in. Well, there we go. See it?
Oh, whose is that?
That's my son. Yeah, that's my son and my daughter-in-law.
How far along?
She's due in May.
Oh, wow.
So,
well, congratulations.
yeah, little boy. So,
Nice.
I've already, trust me, I already planted the seed about the bees. And my son texted me afterwards, and he said they spoke about it, and he said, there'd be no problem, just so I make sure that he's protected. And I said, oh, that's a guarantee. I wouldn't want to take a little one, down by them, and have them. One little thing could happen, and then that would just it'd scar them. So.
Yeah.
I'll be like Fred Dunn, though, walking the little supervisor down into the yard. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That's not going to be for probably, oh my gosh.
A few years.
Yeah, that's like 4 or 5 years off from now.
Yeah.
So, but, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm nowhere near that part yet. So,
yeah. I didn't, but both of my kids, they're out on their own. They're both married. My son, I didn't expect it. Nobody really expected it this year. But they got a new house. It's a 3-bedroom. When they got the house, I had taken over our carpet cleaner because I told my son, I said, best thing you can do is go through and just clean everything right now. There's no furniture. He said, yeah, but you're going to walk in and out. And I said, tell people to take their shoes off. Yeah, I'm like, that's a simple thing. So we were just looking at the rooms and stuff. And he said that the room that's going to be the baby's room now, he said, I can't wait. He said, I'm going to set up my gaming stuff because he still plays games. Not as much, but periodically, if he can sit for an hour or two, he will. And it was so funny. Sophia said, yeah, Jared, no, that's the baby's room. So they kind of used it as like a storage. They just had a couple things in there. So it kind of worked out. And I had said, I'm like, the house, it's a perfect home where they could raise a family. The neighborhood is good. When they were moving in and we were helping them, there were kids riding bicycles up and down the street. There's a little field. I don't know if it's a park or whatever, but there were kids playing soccer up there. And I'm looking around and I'm like, this is perfect for kids, So I could see them there for a little bit. So, but yeah, they got a bun in the oven. So yeah.
That's cool. Congrats again.
Yeah, thank you. It'll be good. I told him, I'm like, well, I told both my kids when we got the pup, I said, you guys, in the whole grand scheme here, you've been knocked down. Eli is just, he trumps the two of you, you're done. Eli's unconditional love for me. Now the grandbaby's going to come along and the kids, they're going to get bumped down even farther. So that's how it goes, though. That's how it goes.
It is.
10:36. I think I probably should call it here in a little bit. Go finish wrapping.
Oh yeah, you haven't finished that, huh?
Well, no, I've got one box of stuff, but I think my wife's probably sleeping. I'm gonna wrap I've got, I don't know, 3 or 4 things in there. and I'm going to wrap each thing, and then I'm going to put it in a box, and then I'm going to put that box in another box. So I'm going to pull the old tricks with her. And on the outside box, I'm going to use my packing tape. So, see, she thinks.
Are you going to entomb it in packing tape?
I think I'm probably going to leave like a little strip. So she's going to have to fuss with it and find the little strip. So we don't want to talk to these people. They didn't have time for us, you know.
Oh.
Tom, he just, you know, Melissa probably had time for us, but Tom was just, you know. So, Bruce, you take care, buddy.
See you, Bruce. Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. But, gentlemen, I appreciate you jumping in, but yeah, I'm probably going to go get the last of my stuff done, and then I probably should. We're having the kids over tomorrow. My mom's coming over. I'm doing a ham and stuff, and then I'm doing like the summer sausage and cheeses and all that stuff. I should probably cut that stuff tonight.
Yeah.
Now remember, you got the green room to go for the rest of the night.
See?
The green room. Don't you know the green room?
Yeah.
Because Todd, he's going to jump into here in a minute here when he goes to the green room.
I've got to tell you that story real quick too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's hang out in the green room. But everybody, you guys, appreciate you guys watching.
Hurry up, Tom.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Hey, Carl.
Is Tom coming in here?
He'll come in the green room, or Carl will too.
Okay. Well, the link is up there. Here, I'll throw it back in there. Copy. I'll throw it down in there, and
you could take a picture, a screenshot of it too, and then it'll be there for you to type in.
So
who knows?
All right.
That's what happens to me. We always an hour or two later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I won't be too long because I have things to do too. I definitely have to tell you this story. It's crazy.
What messed me up though is I was tired and I took like an hour nap. And I'm probably going to be up until like 1 o'clock in the morning now.
Yeah.
I'm at that point in my life where if I take a nap, I'm done. And then I'm up till 1 o'clock. And then tomorrow, of course, on the holiday, I'll be tired in the morning when I'm having to do 10,000 things. So, but it's okay.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's all right. So, but everybody, I am going to stop it up. If you're going to jump into the old green room, as Charlie's smiling about, jump on in there. We can chat.
Carl says he can't. He's got to play Santa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tom, are you going to join in, jump in, buddy? So
who knows? We'll see. They can come in afterwards.
Yeah. All righty. You guys all have a Merry Christmas, and I don't think anybody's going to be live next week on Wednesday, just with New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So next week will be kind of tough because then even New Year's Day, I'm not sure.
I'll be on Friday night.
Oh, you will? Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's sad. It's a second.
And this Friday too, right?
Yeah, this Friday. I'm not. Tomorrow.
Isn't Bill going to be on?
Bill will be
Bill's
on.
gonna be on Friday.
Oh, okay.
I might come in late. I don't know. I have to see what happens.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
like busy as Bruce.
Yeah. Okay. Well, everybody enjoy your Christmas tomorrow, and we'll see you all again.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I'll see you guys.
Mhm.